There is a moment in every human life, often when we least expect it, when we meet someone and the world shifts. Our breath stumbles, our appetite fades, sleep abandons us, and suddenly, everything inside us burns with urgency. The heart beats like a war drum. Time fractures into the before and after of that one person. But behind the heat, behind the adrenaline and obsession, there is a quiet, trembling question. Is this love, or is it lust? And here's the truth, no one really wants to admit lust. Feels like love at first. It pretends to be love. It wears love's voice and mimics love's body. It storms into our lives with fireworks, then leaves behind ashes when the fire dies out. But love isn't loud. Love builds itself in silence. Lust is the fever, love is the recovery. Lust makes you chase the image. Love teaches you to hold its desires to possess. Love longs to understand. The reason most of us confuse the two is because both begin in the same place. Deep emotional hunger. But lust feeds the hunger with fantasy, and love feeds it with reality. Lust is blind because it needs to be. It's trying to protect itself from the truth. It sees perfection because it cannot survive imperfection. But love, real love, opens its eyes. It sees the scars, the flaws, the wounds, and says, I will still stay. And yet, in this world built on speed and dopamine and constant stimulation, lust is easier. Lust requires no responsibility, no depth, no surrender. Love asks for all of you. The problem is, most people never stop long enough to make that distinction. They fall into relationships built on heat, not foundation. They mistake infatuation for commitment. And when the fire fades, they assume the relationship failed. But that's when love is supposed to begin, not end. In lust you touch skin. In love you touch soul. In lust, you crave to be seen. In love, you crave to see. Lust says, I want you now. Love says, I choose you tomorrow. And here's where it gets even more complex. Lust isn't evil. Lust is ancient. It's survival. It's memory wrapped in desire, but left unchecked. Lust becomes the destroyer of love, not its servant. It can hollow a connection, turn a person into a performance, a partner into a drug. And what's worse, it disguises itself as meaning. It tells you this urgency is truth, but urgency is not depth. Love grows slowly, lust sparks fast, and while the two can exist together, most people never give love the time to grow once lust begins to fade. They assume the story is over when really, the real story is just beginning. That's the dangerous loop. People leave when the high ends. They chase the next spark, the next thrill, thinking maybe this time it will last forever. But nothing born in lust alone ever does. You want to know if it's love? Ask yourself, do you speak we or I? Do you bring them into your world, or keep them locked in the realm of fantasy? Can you sit in silence with them without needing to impress, without needing to seduce, without needing to prove? Do you want their soul, or do you just want their body to agree with your loneliness? Love moves like a tide, subtle, patient, and persistent. It deepens with self-revelation. It flourishes in mutuality. Lust lives on the surface. It withers the moment life becomes real. And here's the painful irony, most people want both, but have no idea how to sustain either. The fire fades, and they forget that it was never supposed to burn forever. It was supposed to light the way to something deeper. If you want both love and lust to live in your relationship, you have to feed them differently. Lust needs mystery. Love needs safety. Lust grows through surprise. Love grows through presence. Lust thrives on novelty. Love thrives on knowing. And if you want both, you have to keep learning how to see your partner as both mystery and mirror. Try new things together. Share new fears. Take new risks. Not just in your bedroom, but in your soul. Share what still scares you. Share who you're still becoming, because that's what keeps the flame alive. Not repetition, but revelation. Not performance, but presence. Love isn't the absence of lust, it's what survives after lust has gone silent. So before you confuse intensity with intimacy, before you call it fate just because your heart skipped a beat, ask yourself, will I stay when the fire turns to coals? Will I love them when I no longer lust after the idea of them? And more than that, will they love me when I'm not trying to impress them? That's when you'll know. That's when love speaks. Not in the heat, but in the stillness after.